My friends, it's funny. That's part of growing older. It's a whole new insight. You're so left, so less centered on yourself. Usually, when you're young, all you can say, "Me, myself, and I." What you gonna do? What you? Some people go on to their late lives like that, and they never get unconditional friends. I have unconditional friends. The most unconditional friend I can. I mean, I'm fascinated till I go in my grave how supportive and how much of a friend Joe Rita is to me. It's one of the. I really I try to. I'm like a parent. I'm so less selfish and so want to give back. I just wanted to know why. So my friend said, "What do you care? As long as he's high." I said, "I can't do that. I want to know why Joe feels the way he feels for me." You know what he told me? He said, "You don't lie to yourself." And I'm to this day I was puzzled. And then another thing he said to me, he said, "You never have to figure you out. You're an open book." And I say, well, because I got such good unconditional friends. If I cough, they say, "What's the matter?" I mean it. I mean it. It's fascinating to me because I don't seek friends. I don't patter up to people or try to figure if I'm nice to them, they'll be nice to me. Hey, this is Leroy. I would do anything for a friend, but I don't push up to them and try to get brownie points. That's not the way I don't live that way. But what fascinates me is, and I shouldn't be answering this stuff because it doesn't make any sense. These guys insist that I take steroid. They're so steroid crazy that anybody that seemed to be unusually developed, but you could see, as I said a number of times, and I'm not going to make another comment that doesn't make no sense. As I said a number of times, look at the bodies, look at the muscle, look at the lack of veins, vascularity, and puffiness of these guys. It's so obvious. And the only reason I didn't take steroids, my friends, not for moral reasons, is that couldn't able to compete. My ankle was severed. They had to put pins in it to keep it together. My competitive days were over. So I trained harder on my upper body. So that's the reason I didn't take steroids. And I tell you, as I said a number of times to the people that have, uh, that follow me, that the best thing happened to me when I got hurt I think I was 22, something like that. The best thing happened to me was that because I'd been dead, like all these other guys. I was obsessed with building my body, absolute obsession. And I wasn't about to sit back and, I mean, you didn't think twice about it. You took steroids. Everybody was taking it. The only difference between I find today and yesterday, I mean, what I find yesterday, of course, we didn't have it. But I always say, and you guys have any doubts about it, just go on my website, leroycolbert.com, and look on where it says bodybuilders of my era. You'll see the dramatic difference in the bodies. A dramatic difference. And I mean, I don't have to lie to you guys, but I mean, what is the purpose? Joe Weed, of course, we didn't have, it wasn't a big thing then, had my arms measured with a steel tape. Of course, Joe Willoughby was an authenticator of these guys making all kinds of claims of the size of thighs and arms. David Willoughby was Joe Weider's authenticator of what size your muscles, whether they're legitimate. And the point simply is, I get so annoyed, and I should be. I mean, I know I should be answered. Then saw one, I think on one of the comments, some idiot saying my arms are never bigger than 18 inches. Never saw me, never measured. So that means the entire bodybuilding industry is lying, but he knows. And I know I'm stupid to even, I know. I know. It just fascinates me. And I shouldn't be fascinated because Arnold, him and I used to have a lot of discussions. Not all. He says 2% of the people of the world are designated to rule the other 98% because people want to be told and they want to follow. And that's what my good friend Arnold told me that 30 years ago. I mean, I didn't dispute him. I didn't dispute him. I mean, you see it all around you. You see these people belong to these cults and everything. They want to be told. They want told to live. I mean, I didn't dispute him. But this is the point that I wanted to get across, you know, talking primarily about the guys that insist that my own, can you imagine, one of the old sayings, they say, convince a fool against his will, he has the same opinion still. Here's some joker saying my arm was never big enough. Do you remember? I wonder if he had enough brains to realize what did he come to his conclusion based on? If it's never bigger than 18 inches, then everybody in bodybuilding lying, including Arnold. What do you think Arnold wanted to meet and be a friend of mine because I had 18-inch arms? Or a lot of guys had 18-inch arms then. It's because my arm was unusually large for the time. I don't know how big these guys are now because I can't even, because they're not natural. But in any case, it's like to be continued.